Hello everyone, and welcome to Storytime with Gwendolyn, story a day till Gwendylmas. Gwendylmas being December 25th, which is also my birthday. Yay! I'd like to introduce you to my special guest. Very first special guest, as always, is my dragon onesie. Dragon onesie. It's very soft and cozy, which is great because it's chilly in the world right now. Cold as dumb. My next special guest is this age-appropriate beverage that I have encapsulated into this fancy, shiny, green, sparkly Gwendol goblet. I don't know if you know this about me, but green's kind of my thing and sparkly is my favorite color. Everyone take a drink of your drink. Next up on our special guest list is this toy dog. It's a classic toy as stated on the tag. It's fuzzy and soft, it's got a little tiny tail, and I don't know where I got it. Dog. And the reason why we're all here today, the book that I'm about to read is called The Day Santa Stopped Believing in Harold. Dun dun dun! He's so mad. And that's part of the reason that I chose this dog. They kind of look the same. This book is words by Maureen Fergus, pictures by Cale Atkinson. The Day Santa Stopped Believing in Harold. Dun dun dun! You can do the dun duns at home if you want. So, friends, family, Romans, countrymen, lizard people, aliens seeing this broadcast from another planet light years away, and moles who happen to have television in their little holes. Yeah, this is my dragon onesie. This is my age-appropriate beverage and my stuffed little dog classic toy. And this is The Day Santa Stopped Believing in Harold. Words by Maureen Fergus, pictures by Cale Atkinson. Everyone take a drink of your drink. Ah, that's some good end papers. It's a cat and a turtle playing Scrabble. How do they pick up the pieces? They don't have opposable thumbs. But they can slide them to where they need to go. The Day Santa Stopped Believing in Harold. Title page. One stormy night very close to Christmas, Santa and Mrs. Claus were sitting in their cozy little log cabin at the North Pole. Mrs. Claus was busy mending the seam of Santa's fourth best pair of red velvet pants. Santa was supposed to be going over the roster for this year's sleigh team. Instead, he was moping. Oh, he looks angry moping. But look what I just noticed, there's a narwhal on that mug. I would drink from that mug. Cat is worried. Mrs. Claus also concerned. Several times Mrs. Claus asked Santa what was wrong. Each time he muttered, "Nothing," and then sighed loudly. Finally, Mrs. Claus said, "Papa, I can't help you if you won't tell me what the problem is." "All right," said Santa with another sigh. "Well, you know Harold?" I like how we're getting right into it. Harold. You know Harold? Mrs. Claus smiled. Brown hair, freckles, lost a tooth last week, sometimes forget to... Stop, interrupted Santa in a choked voice. Don't say another word. You don't need to keep pretending on my account because I don't believe in Harold anymore. Mrs. Claus stared at Santa as though he'd suddenly sprouted antlers. Look at how sad he is. Oh no. He's like, stop. Talk to the hand, Mrs. Claus. I don't believe in him. Look, Harold has always been a big part of my Christmas, and I still like the idea of Harold, explained Santa. But lately, I've come to realize there are a lot of things about Harold that just don't make sense. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Like what? Asked Mrs. Claus. For one thing, I'm pretty sure his mom writes his Santa letter, said Santa. Oh no. So what if she does, said Mrs. Claus. That doesn't mean anything. Maybe not, said Santa, but what about the snack, huh? What about that? What about it? Asked Mrs. Claus. This is like an episode of Law and Order. Everyone take a drink of your drink. I'm so glad that I saved this one for last. I think Harold's dad lays out my snack on Christmas Eve, whispered Santa dramatically. Think about it. Harold is way too small to lift a big carton of milk. He can barely hold his own head up. Papa, Harold isn't a baby anymore. Yes, well, that's another thing, isn't it, said Santa. That Harold who sat on my knee at the mall last year didn't even look like the real Harold. This is a baby Harold. The baby is as big as the milk carton. Harold is a real person, Papa, said Mrs. Claus. Real people look different from year to year. Santa wasn't listening. You know what's going on here, don't you? He asked. Harold's parents are trying to trick me into believing in him. And just why would they want to do that? Asked Mrs. Claus. There's so much attitude in this. Look, he is like, you're not the real Harold. They think that if I know the truth about Harold, Christmas will be ruined for me, cried Santa. Either that or they want the Harold gifts all for themselves. Mrs. Claus shook her head and said, you know what you're doing, don't you? You're looking for reasons to not believe in Harold instead of just accepting his as one of the best, most magical parts of Christmas. Santa looked uncomfortable and maybe even a little uncertain, but all he said was, I know what I know. Look at him. He is pouting. The terrible news traveled like a spooked Arctic hare. That's the kind of bunny. Santa had stopped believing in children. Not all children, Santa assured Merpin, the elf supervisor in the computer gizmo department. Just Harold. Uh-huh, said Merpin. And you know what else, said Santa. I'm not the only one who doesn't believe in him. My friends don't believe in him either. Uh-huh, said Merpin. Jack Frost says his mom and dad told him that Harold doesn't exist, and the abominable snow monster says only a baby would believe in Harold. Uh-huh, said Merpin. Do I look like a baby to you? Boomed Santa. Merpin stared at Santa's twinkling eyes, rosy cheeks, and jiggling jelly belly. Forget I asked, sniffed Santa. I'm going to talk to the reindeer. He just followed Merpin all over the place. To the computers, and then to Merpin's desk. And then he's got a picture of a cat, as well you should. And then to the control panel, and then to whatever this is. But look, there's a big red button in case stuff goes down. And also someone's been eating candy on the control table, and that's going to make a mess. That's how you get ants. Everyone take a drink of your drink. And do you want ants? No. No, you don't, Otherberry. The reindeer listened carefully to Santa's evidence against the existence of Harold. Then they whispered amongst themselves for a few minutes. Finally, Donner said, on the one hand, we're not convinced that Harold is real. I knew it, said Santa unhappily. On the other hand, continued Donner, we're not convinced that Harold isn't real. So what are you saying? Asked Santa. What we're saying is that you need proof, said Donner, and I think we know just how you can get it. But here's the thing. They said on the one hand and then on the other hand, but they don't even have hands because they're reindeers. Look at all their faces. They're considering serious faces. They're so serious. This is a great book. Now, strange as it seems, while Santa was up north telling Mrs. Claus and the elves and the reindeer that he didn't think Harold was real, Harold was down south telling his parents and his friends and his turtle that he didn't think Santa was real. Plot twist. I told you it's like Law and Order. I got a murder board. Deep in his heart, Harold wanted to believe in Santa, but the older Harold got, the harder it was for him to just have faith. What I need is proof, thought Harold, and I think I know just how I can get it. There's Harold's dad putting out the snack. Santa was right about the snack. Oh no, one of these books says Santa is an alien. Can you see it? I don't know if it's focusing. That Christmas Eve, Harold hung his stocking, helped send out the Santa snack, and hugged his parents goodnight, just like he did every Christmas Eve. On this particular night, however, after his mom and dad had gone to bed, Harold tiptoed back into the front room and hid behind the armchair across from the fireplace. If Santa is real, thought Harold drowsily, I will definitely be able to see him coming. He's behind the chair. There's a fireplace. There's the stockings hung with care. There's a Christmas tree. I hope you have spy music going on in your head. Many hours later, Santa and the reindeer touched down on the roof of Harold's house, which Santa had saved for last. Santa's plan was to hide in Harold's front room and see if Harold ran out of his bedroom on Christmas morning. If he did, Santa would know that Harold was real. If he didn't, Harold's parents would have some explaining to do. He's on the roof. Up on the roof. After settling into his hiding spot, Santa tried to stay awake, but it was extremely warm and cozy in Harold's front room, and Santa was very tired after his hard night's work. Slowly, he closed his sleepy eyes. That couch is amazing. He is so determined. I love it. The next thing Santa knew, it was Christmas morning. Too bad we don't know any little boys who'd like to open some presents from Santa, said Harold's mom, who spotted Harold hiding behind the armchair. Aha, thought Santa. Too bad there are no presents from Santa, whispered Harold's father. Oops, thought Santa, who'd forgotten to set out the gifts before hiding. I don't care about presents, said Harold as he slowly stood up. I just wanted to see Santa, and I didn't. At the sound of Harold's voice, Santa's heart gave a wild leap. Oh, it's okay if you cry. You're real, he shouted joyfully as he jumped from behind the sofa. Harold's mother screamed. Harold's father sprayed coffee everywhere. Harold's face lit up like a Christmas tree. You're real, he shouted, running over to give Santa a hug. Oh, this is the happiest ending. It's not even over, but this is so happy. After Harold and Santa got over the shock of finding out that each of them had thought that the other wasn't real, they sat on the floor reading comics, playing with toys, and licking candy canes until the sound of tiny hooves impatiently stomping on the roof reminded Santa that it was time to go home. Oh, they're best friends now. Oh, I love this. Goodbye, Harold. Goodbye, Harold's parents. They don't have names, cried Santa as he prepared to magic himself up the chimney. Goodbye, Santa, cried Harold. See you next Christmas morning. Unless you'd rather fall asleep beside someone else's sofa, cried his parents. It sounds like a hint. Santa's big blooming laugh rang out once, shaking the walls and knocking several glass ornaments off the tree. And then, in the wink of an eye, he was gone. He's going to magic himself up the chimney. I like to magic myself places. The end. Aww. This is such a happy book. Everyone take a drink of your drink. Oh, Santa stopped believing in Harold, and he had all reasons to. He didn't see Harold, and Harold looked different from year to year. He thought his dad put out the snacks. He thought his mom wrote his Christmas Santa letter. Oh, he was so devastated, and he was very hurt that he didn't think Harold was real. Look at his face again. Look at his sad face. So sad. And Mrs. Claus was like, you're ridiculous. And then he went to Merpin, and Merpin was like, the whole time. And then he went and talked to the reindeer, and they were all like, let's find out this stuff. Like, all business. Look at him pounding his little hoof into his little hoof fist into his other little flat hoof. And then the whole time, Harold didn't think Santa was real. And he had a murder board. And a book that's called Santa is an Alien. Look at his murder board. That's really good for a kid who can't write his own Santa letters. And then Harold tried to tried to hide and surprise Santa, and Santa tried to hide and surprise Harold, and then they didn't surprise each other, and then they did surprise each other. And then their parents were like, what the is going on? OMG. Then they probably took a long nap after drinking some wine that night. Because that was a day. Christmas is already a day, but that was a day. This was awesome. The Day Santa Stopped Believing in Harold. Words by Maureen Fergus. Pictures by Cal Atkinson. I hope you enjoyed this story as much as I did. Let me know in the comments. Well, friends, Gwendol peeps, Gwendol fans, Gwendolicious. Sure, everyone take a drink of your drink. This has been Storytime with Gwendolyn, a story a day till Gwendolmas with me, the Gwendolyn from the Gwendolyn Show. I hope you've liked and subscribed and followed and put your notifications on and all those things for my channel here on YouTube and my Facebooks and my Instagrams and my Twitches. Sure, everyone take a drink of your drink. This has been my dragon onesie. This has been my age-appropriate beverage. And this is the dog that kind of looked like Santa on the front cover. And this has been The Day Santa Stopped Believing in Harold. With the happiest ending ever. Thanks for joining me. Have a happy Gwendolmas. Bye!